Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to ICANA webinar series for English language teachers. It's very nice to see you all here. My name is Graciela Martin. I'm the academic coordinator at ICANA, and I'll be your host today. This webinar series, ICANA webinar series, is intended to support you and the English language teaching community by sharing our experience and our best practices at ICANA. The presenters, all members of ICANA teaching staff, will showcase new trends in technology and methodology for teaching foreign languages. The series for 2021 will encompass 4 webinars. The one we are hosting today about reading and technology, a perfect match to boost critical thinking. Then we will host a second webinar in September on how to teach kids in a virtual environment. The first week in November, we will hold the third webinar, and that will be on teaching adolescents, teaching teens in a virtual environment. And finally, by the end of November, we will have the last webinar about authentic materials and how to adapt them and use them to best fit our course objectives. So let's go now into today's webinar, Reading and Technology. The presenters today will explore how to benefit from the use of technology when approaching a reading text. They will also share ideas on how to work on integrated skills while furthering critical thinking. And the presenters today are María Isabel Mosquera and Gabriel Rodriguez. María Isabel Mosquera is a public translator graduated from Universidad de Buenos Aires. She has been a teacher at ICANA since 1992. She teaches adults, and she loves teaching true beginners. Isa has taken a 64-hour course on using educational technology in the English language classroom, a course developed by Iowa State University and sponsored by the U.S. State Department. Gabriel Rodriguez is a teacher of English, graduate from Instituto Superior del Profesorado, Dr. Joaquín B. González. He has been working at ICANA for 5 years already, and he has been teaching courses for teens and adults. He has taken a 6-month course on developing an online teaching program, a course delivered by TISO International Association and sponsored by the U.S. State Department. Both Isabel and Gabriel work in the developers team at ICANA, a team that develops materials and programs for ICANA academic department. So without further ado, let me introduce María Isabel Mosquera and Gabriel Rodriguez. The cameras are all yours.
Okay, thanks, Grace. And it's a pleasure for us to be here today with Gabriel to guide you through this webinar this afternoon. As Grace said, my name is Isabel, and we are going to be working on reading and technology to find out whether there is a perfect match to boost critical thinking.
Thank you, Isa. It's a pleasure to share this webinar this afternoon with you. So let's begin.
Okay, we are going to share with you some quotes that we think that they are related to critical thinking. Gabi?
Okay, the first quote, just a second. The first quote is, "Power comes not from knowledge kept, but from knowledge shared," by Bill Gates.
Education is not the learning of facts, but training the mind to think by Albert Einstein. Gabi.
The third one is the function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education, by Martin Luther King Jr.
And the fourth quote is, nothing in life is to be feared, it's only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more so that we fear less, by Madame Curie. Okay, now we would like you to share your opinions, and you're going to be using the chat box. What do we want you to do is to write the number next to the quote, 1, 2, 3, 4. When we say submit, wait a second. And the idea is to do a waterfall chat. So wait a second to send your votes. Are you ready? 4, 3, 2, 1. Submit. And then we are going to see which is the number that has won the position. 2, 2, 2, 2. I think 2. Yes, what do you think? 2 or 3? Oh.
2 and 3.
2 and 3, Gabi. I think there is a draw.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Okay, so
Next
let's go to the objectives. In this webinar, we will figure out the connection between technology and reading, understand why reading is important for students and why teachers should include it in their lessons, develop reading strategies to boost students' skills, integrate reading with other skills, and learn how to benefit from the use of technology when approaching a reading text. So let's begin with the following activity. We would like to know what you think about reading and technology. So the idea is the following. You can either scan the QR code included in the presentation or click on the link that Grace is going to share through the chat. Once there, you will be sent to Mentimeter and you will have to answer the following question. So the question is, how will technology empower students to approach their reading texts? So take a minute, some seconds, write a possible answer, some ideas, and they will appear in the presentation that you are seeing. Okay, we start with some comments. So someone said, by making them more enjoyable or interactive, by letting them share, it will give them more tools and access to information. Someone mentioned accessibility. Good. Someone in the chat wrote motivation. Good. Images help them, sound, interactive activities, good, by giving them a lot more input. It will help them with tools for sharing and learning, good. Good. Good, good. Okay, well, let's move on to the following question. Isa.
Okay, now we are going to go to the second question. We are going to see it. Oh, you have answered very quickly. Does technology help to develop critical thinking? And the answer is yes. Okay, there are a lot of yes answers. Okay, well, Gabi, I continue.
You go, Isa.
Okay. Technology has impacted education and every aspect of our lives, and technology has also expanded access to get information through videos, computers, cell phones. There is a lot of information in internet today. Digital learning is generating new learning opportunities, no collaborative work. And today we can see our students using smartphones, sending messages, sending texts, videos, and they are also in social media sending photos and comments about their lives. So I think that education is part of our students' lives. We can move to the next slide. And we can say that communication is so important and technology takes a very important role. Language is the language of technology today. Everything or most of the things are in English, and students use English for most of everything, and they are getting information from technology. And it's very important for teachers and students. This 1 year and a half, the COVID-19 pandemic increased this importance of technology in teaching and in the language progress, and gives an idea of how important it is for creativity and critical thinking. Gabi? We are going to share some useful resources because it's important for us, for teachers, to have these links in mind, Voice of America, American English websites, where you can get lots of reading texts, so important for the teachers and for the students. And you can find in these pages, Project Gutenberg 2, authentic and simplified material. We are going to have the link in the chat box so that you can explore it whenever you want. Post the link. Thank you, Grace.
Yes, the links are there already. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Well, we are all acquainted with Bloom's taxonomy. We know that he created a framework with a hierarchy of different skills. The main problem of his framework was that it was cumulative. That is to say, that each of the process was dependent and built on the preceding one, going from the simplest to the most complex. In 2001, David Crathwell and Lorraine Anderson revised this framework, and they created the following schema. Instead of using nouns, they went for verbs, and they did not choose the hierarchy because for them, each of the different thinking skills were of equal value. So this idea of having a hierarchy or that everything was cumulative was no longer applied in an English classroom. But then what is interesting is that this schema reflects what happens in an English class. That is to say that teachers initiate tasks where the different skills are applied, and sometimes our activities or tasks may have more than one skill. They do continue talking about higher and lower order thinking skills. Remembering, understanding, and applying a part of the order thinking skills, whereas analyzing, evaluating, and creating a part of the higher order thinking skills. And this is totally connected with reading, isn't it, Isa?
Yes, I agree completely.
Good. So let's begin by answering what critical thinking is. So take a minute, write a keyword in the chat or a possible definition, something that comes to your mind, the first idea that comes to your mind when you hear critical thinking. What is critical thinking for you? Let's go to the chat. So we have analysis, independent thoughts, analysis, to judge something, debate, examining, to take a standpoint on an issue, examining ideas, questioning, thinking, reflecting, not taking things for granted. Good. Well, as you can see, there's no single definition for critical thinking. But in all the different ideas, sentences, or keywords that you included in the chat, there are three main themes. The first one is that critical thinking involves reflective reading. That is to say that students have the ability of questioning assumptions so as not to take things for granted. The second one is that critical thinking implies rational thinking. That is to say, the ability of following arguments in a logical and disciplined way. And finally, it requires a reasonable approach where individuals follow their objectives and they are sensitive to the material that is presented to them.
So, Gabi, what are the processes involved to develop critical thinking skills?
Well, we have found this wonderful eye with different processes that all of them are connected to critical thinking. But we believe that in a language learning environment, the 6 white processes with the arrows are the ones who are, which are the most predominant ones. So questioning, awareness, communication, being open-minded, having a problem-solving attitude, and debate will create this. And there are some benefits for critical thinking. So on the one hand, it helps develop learners' autonomy. Then it increases learners' engagement. Learners are more engaged in our different classes. Then it brings a balance of thinking skills to the lesson. That is to say that lessons become more varied and as a result, more interesting for our students. And finally, critical thinking can be used as an approach, not just for learning in a classroom, but for learning in general. It's a skill that can be taken to apply in real life situations. So Isa, how is this seen in reading?
Top-down process is a process that we use for reading and comprehension. This is something that we do in our classes at ICANA. The idea is to take a written text and to get the main idea of the text. And this main idea is given, shared by the students in the classroom, taking into consideration their cultural knowledge, the information coming from outside the text. And okay, the idea is to go to the meaning of the text.
So technology boosts critical thinking in the end, doesn't it?
Yes, the idea is that the best changes of technology is that we can see how it helps students to develop critical thinking. Students really become critical thinkers because there are so many sources for students to explore that they get information, they analyze, they fact check, and they become their producers and editors of their information. And another interesting thing, Gabi, is that technology takes students beyond the walls, the 4 walls of the classroom, and it also makes students see the teacher not as the only source of information. Yes, the teacher is a guide, and the teacher will help them in this process of critical thinking.
Good.
So now it's time to work, and we are going to tell the teachers, thank you for being here this afternoon. And we want you to be students for a few minutes. We have prepared with Gabi and Grace. We have prepared a beautiful lesson. I hope you like it. So, well, it's time to work. Do you agree, Gabi?
Yes, let's start. Okay, we have planned a lesson taken with a text taken from an advanced course from ICANA. Okay, the book is from an advanced course. And so let's begin. Isa.
Okay, good. Thank you, Gabi. We have chosen an article taken from one of the books that we use in our classes at ICANA. Maybe some of the teachers know this article or not. The title is Shrink It, Bend It, Fold It. And the idea is that you can tell us in the chat box what everyday objects can you think of that you can shrink, bend, and fold. So take 1 minute or two and you write something in the chat box and we will be reading it. Thank you. Okay, clothes. Yeah. Headset, chairs, sponge. Interesting. Gum, newspapers, papers. Your mindset. Scarf. Okay. Well, paper.
Now.
Yeah, you can bend your knees. Fold a bed, a table, or
heart.
Okay, how interesting. Okay, paper.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it. I think it's very interesting. Thank you.
Good, excellent. Okay, well, we are going to use Menti again. We cannot get rid of it. So again, we would like you to either scan the QR code that is included in the presentation or click on the link that Grace will be sharing, well, that she has just shared through the chat. The idea is that you will answer this question. What everyday things would you like to be able to make smaller by shrinking, bending, or folding in the near future? You will have just 3 possibilities. So maybe you can think 1 for each action or 3 for one, but only 3 possibilities. And your answers will appear in the following slide. Take some minutes. So some people are already answering. Okay, good. We have computer, desk, laptop in the center. My cat, different books. Okay, we have 10 people have already answered. Problems. Okay. I like the connection between problems, laptop, computer, my bed.
Yeah.
Age. Someone went for age. Good. Working hours. Shrinking. Working hours. Good. Okay. Let's wait for a couple of more answers. Distance.
This, now that we are keeping distance.
Okay. Good. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, okay, we have more. But again, computer is the heart of the word cloud. Good. Excellent. Well, let's go with Isa again.
Okay, now you're going to see in the chat box, Grace is going to post the link of the reading text. So if you go to the chat box, you're going to find the link of this text we have mentioned before. You will have 2 minutes to scan the text. Do not read. And then you're going to check if you have mentioned those things included in the article. And then you go to the link and you write yes or no to see if your predictions were right.
So write yes in the chat if the predictions were included, or no in the chat if the predictions were not included. Take 2 minutes, okay?
Well, I think that many people are between 1 and 2 objects. So this is more or less the common result of this point. Okay, great.
Yes, most of them go for 1 and for 2, so it's good, excellent. Well, now yes, let's go into the text. So now we would like you to read the text and answer the following question. What do 21st century objects compare with 20th century ones according to the author of the article? How do the 21st century objects compare with the 20th century ones? Read the text, write your answer, and then send it through the chat. For this activity, you will have 4 minutes. Okay? Okay, well, we can see that some of you focus on the issue of size, flexibility, the importance of having different devices, comfort, effectiveness, practicality.
Yes, it's true. Everything is more practical.
Usefulness, whether something can be affordable or not.
Great ideas.
They tend to be smaller, okay, and portable. Well done. Good. Well, let's move on to the following activity. Isa.
Okay, now we are going to work with one of our favorite activities, word wall. We are going to post the link in the chat box, and you are going to be taken to breakout rooms. So this is the time to work in groups together. Once you are in the breakout room, you will choose one speaker, one secretary, and that secretary is going to be in charge of typing, yeah? The others are going to help the speaker. But this speaker or secretary will type on the leaderboard the name of the group. For example, Einstein. Yes, and well, you will start doing the activity. You will have 5 minutes to do the activity. And once you finish with the activity, you will be brought back to the main room. So,
Okay, let's go to the groups. Okay, there. So you should click, you should accept the invitation to the breakout rooms. Okay, some people are going, are leaving.
yes, they are getting into groups.
Good.
Great. Remember to go to the chat box for the link.
Okay, some groups are full.
Oh, wow. They are coming back to the main room.
Okay, well, let's see. Maybe they have finished.
Yes, we are getting the results of the activity.
Gabby, there's a teacher asking for help in room 2.
Room 2. Okay, I go there. But Isa, can you go? No. If I go, okay, I'll go.
Don't
Good.
worry, I'll go.
Look at the names of the groups.
To do R2D2, R2.
How
One more.
strange the names.
One more minute and I will stop there.
They are more original.
Yes, they are.
Our name, Einstein.
It didn't work.
The activity is on the chat box. Because there are, there are some students who couldn't go to the breakout rooms.
Mm.
But the chat is...
This one quite fast.
Yeah. Word wall activity.
But I'm going to stop the groups.
I think it's time. I think it's time. Time's up. Yeah, because we are taking too long. You let me know when they are back.
Yes. They will be back in 40 seconds more.
40 seconds.
Great activity. Yeah, people. We loved it.
Yeah, thank you so much. We love word wall. You tell me when they are all back. Are they all?
Yes, they are all back.
Are you all back?
Excuse me, Gabby and Isa,
Yes.
who needs 30 seconds or a minute more?
Okay.
Because they had a
Okay.
problem.
Oh, but I don't remember the names.
Number 2, room 2.
Okay.
We are the oldies and the goodies. That's why we take longer, Gabby. Because we
Okay.
are the oldies.
We go again. We go
We
again.
go slow. We go slower.
It's not forget
Okay.
about old, Lily. It's vintage.
Okay, we go again.
Highlight it.
Take your
So nice to hear your voice.
Don't take too long.
Okay.
I am not getting into the breakout. And Laura, we can invite Laura to go. And Juan.
That's okay.
Yeah, there are.
Wait.
Oh, there are some people.
Okay.
They like being students too.
To refresh the web page.
Well, I think it's time, Gabby. What do
Yeah,
you
I think so. I think I'm going to stop the group.
Yes.
Okay. So we have some seconds.
What do you think, Grace? I think it's time.
Yes, I think so too.
Yes, okay.
Okay, so they are all back?
They are coming in 45 seconds. I'm refreshing. No, but we have a winner. This
The winner is
Wow, I guess that's
Eleonora,
I guess that's Eleonora Salas from Córdoba, right?
Córdoba.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Córdoba.
From the BNC in
Yeah.
Córdoba.
Oh, great. Okay, and the second goes to Dudu. I like the names, they are so original. RT2 takes the third, the fourth are ARD2, and the last Alejandra's group. Thank you very much. Well, we go to the next slide.
Okay, let's move on to the following activity.
Following
Okay.
activity.
So now, you are going to decide if the following sentences are true, false, or it doesn't say. The sentences will appear in the slide, and you will have to click on true, false, or it doesn't say according to the text. Let's see.
Yes, on your screen, you will see the poll.
Okay, there you are.
So you can start answering. Ah, true.
I don't remember, Gabby.
Have to go over.
Oh my God. Oh
What can I do?
Oh my God.
That's the bad student.
Yes.
That's the
Yeah,
bad student that we
course.
always have in a course.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be
sure.
worse. My
Okay,
question
then
has
the
I
disappeared.
don't
Don't
know. I will
remember.
mark whatever.
I don't remember.
Right.
No me acuerdo.
Remember that
Something
we
was
wanted to
Yes.
remember that we wanted to fold our age, so it's connected to that, girl.
Yeah,
People.
of course. Of course. I need to read again. I need to read the
Yes,
article
yes.
again. Sorry, teachers, but if you have better memory, you go ahead.
We trust you. We trust you.
Yeah.
We always
Oh
ask
my
our
God.
students, we always give too little time to students. So it's a good thing to go through the same
Oh
problem.
my God, yes.
We need to go on.
Okay, well, let's wait
I will
for
send just one. The one I remember.
okay,
Sorry.
because now they are answering each of the
Right.
questions.
Yes. Give it a
Okay.
try.
They are taking their time.
Yes, I know, I know. Okay,
I
well,
don't know.
let's
I will
stop it
mark
here.
whatever.
Okay.
This is critical thing. You
There's
have
no
to.
penalty for
Yeah, but
guessing.
Not today.
sorry, not
Good.
today. Not
Not
for
today.
me today.
Not a
Okay.
test.
Oh.
Well, let's show the results, the ones that we got.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Okay.
Huge advanced secondary is not true.
Mhm.
Okay. Excellent.
Mhm.
Well, and now
Okay.
let's do the last activity for today. Isa.
Seems that we are not the only ones who could not remember everything.
Mm.
You are not alone. You are not alone.
Makes me feel a little better, Gabby and
Good.
Isa. Yes.
Okay, we are going to continue. And this time you are going to post your answers, giving your opinion about the following questions. Go to the chat box, as we always say. What are the pros and cons of shrinking, bending, and folding? And do you think that we will be able to find more solutions in key factors such as communication, health, and science? You are going to go to a link that it is on the chat box. Grace is posting the link. It's a Padlet. This is another tool where you have to post your answer. So click, open, and type.
A ver, if I can.
We will do it individually. We had planned to do it in groups, but we will do it individually due to time constraints. Okay. So take 2, 3.
Yeah.
So we can share the
Padlet, yes.
Padlet. When you
We have
come
some
here, Gabby.
brave ones who not answers yet. In case you need them. These were the questions. Refresh. In order to give your answer, you should click here. Mhm.
Bottom right, there is a cross.
Mm.
And you can pose your answer. If not, you can write on the chat box and we read your opinions.
Yes. I will share again the question.
Okay.
So that you have
Definitely yes for answer 2. Yes. You can write on the chat box and
Yes.
we can read them too.
Mhm.
It will be of easy access and will it be affordable?
Mhm. So there are more questions after reading the text. Good.
Okay, take 1 minute more. You will, and we read your messages on the chat box.
Okay.
Okay, is there any other opinion for the chat box? This is all? Okay,
Okay.
can go to the next slide.
But now it's the moment to go back to your role as teachers. You leave the experience of being a student for a while, and you will go back to your role. And the idea is that now let's have 1-2 minutes to reflect upon what you have learned in the webinar. So the first question will be, do you apply some of these tools such as Mentimeter, Wordwall, Padlet, or even the chat when working with reading materials so as to boost critical thinking? If the answer is yes, go to the reaction and click on the green button, the green circle. And if the answer is no, click on the red circle.
Yes.
For example, I will go for the green one. It's close to the chat, or sometimes you have 3 dots and it says more, and there you have reaction. And you have faces, but this time we will use the green and the red one.
There is a green.
Good. Okay, we have some green circles. Good. Okay, well, so we have some people who went for the green circle. Good. Isa.
Okay, and now this is very important for us because it's very important to check what do you take with you from this webinar. So we will take down your opinion, write a keyword or a sentence in the chat, telling us about your experience in today's webinar.
What you take with you. So let's see. Some people
Just
are
what
writing.
Yes, great. Thank you. There are a lot of tools that I don't know.
A nice topic to debate. Okay.
Oh, great. Interesting ideas to put into practice.
Ways to boost, ways of boosting. Tools, the tools.
Importance of sharing. Yeah.
The variety of tools. Good.
Okay.
Good,
Well,
excellent.
thank you for your opinion because it's so important for us.
Well, Lisa, let's.
Okay, so we are coming to an end. Okay, this is the time in which we want to share this Mafalda comic strip that most of you know. Mafalda is very important in our culture, and Mafalda defines very well the keeping changes in time, keeping updating, and I think it's a very good example for critical thinking. Okay, so we wanted to share it with you.
Okay, well, and now it's the moment to write those questions that you may have, okay, or any comment worth making, so that we can have some sort of chat with you. Okay, Grace will be reading some of the questions just to see something that you want to know. Maybe there was a tool that you didn't know of, and that now that you want to use. Something that you would like to know.
And we would also like you to answer the opening question, no? Reading and technology, they are a perfect match to boost critical thinking. So it would be very interesting to know that too.
Well, we have some questions. Isa, would you like to take the first?
Yes, I am reading this one. How can technology help us within the framework of task-based approach? Well, I think that one of the things that for me and for Gabi and for Graciela, that we were talking about this topic of critical thinking is important, is that technology helps students to go beyond the four walls. They have more chances to explore on different websites. They become more independent. They can also share community of groups through the different tools, applications, for example, Twitter, Instagram. There are lots of tools in which they can communicate so that the education goes not only in the lesson, in the class, but beyond. So I think this is a great change. Gabi.
Good. And there was another question about using these types of activities with beginners, or if this is applicable to all levels. We think that yes. Of course,
well,
that.
Remember, Gabi, I told you that yesterday in a group, I asked the students to find unlucky numbers in different countries. And they were so happy because they could go to internet and find out. For example, there is a number, I don't know if it is true or not. This is what we have to search, but 191 is an unlucky number in United States, for example. I don't know if it's that true. In Japan, number 4 is an unlucky number. So elementary students are learning numbers, are practicing countries, and they are doing critical thinking as well. So
what they can do is with a Padlet, they can choose a number. Each student can choose a number and copy, I mean, where that number comes from, for example. So that will be
beyond. You go beyond, you share, analyze if it is true or false.
Good. Then there was another one about reading part of the article aloud in class. It will depend. I mean, it depends on the focus. I mean, what you aim at, having students reading a part of the article or the whole article aloud in the class. Sometimes it's a good idea that, I mean, if you are working with predictions and the predictions are part of the introduction, so as to check predictions as a whole class, but it will, I mean, it will depend. Or sometimes if you create a jigsaw and you divide the text in different parts, then you will have, at some moment, each group will have to, in a way, read that part so as to get the complete text or article. So it's good. Any other question or comment?
Gabriel, comment by Lily Palermo.
Yes.
She wrote, if you teach, keep learning, adopt, adapt, and evolve.
And we do agree with Lily. Yes, yes, yes.
And
It's excellent, yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that with us, Lily. Absolutely. Well, so thanks for joining us today, for having this an hour and 5 minutes more or less with us, for sharing this moment with us.
Yes. I would like to thank all of you, all the teachers that you have been here sharing this afternoon with us, ICANA teachers and the teachers from Argentina, Latin America. Okay, all the teachers that are here in this session, thank you very much. And thank you, ICANA, Grace, that she helped us a lot.
A lot, and she gave us support, yes, and encouragement.
Thank you so much. And, thank you for giving us the opportunity to be here. And Gabi, it was a pleasure to be with you in this afternoon. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you.
Thank you, Issa and Gabi,
for joining me in this idea of this initiative of having webinars for the English language teaching community. Thank you for putting in so many hours of hard work to put this webinar together. So thank you very much. So hope to see you then. Thank you
again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you.
Bye.
Nice seeing you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Congrats.
Bye-bye.